Ever wished your pickup truck was electric? Like fully electric?
Yeah.
And maybe it could even deliver packages for Amazon in its spare time.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of the world Rivian is building.
Okay.
But is it a smart investment?
Right.
To find out, we're diving deep into Rivian Automotive.
Oh.
If you like figuring out complex companies and making smart investor moves, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got lots to unpack today.
Cool.
Business model, financials, the competitive landscape, everything.
Looking forward to it.
So what's interesting about Rivian is they're not just trying to be another Tesla.
Right.
They're focused on electric adventure vehicles,
Yeah.
like trucks and SUVs,
Yeah.
appealing to a very specific customer
A very specific customer.
who's often willing to pay a premium.
Exactly. And that's a really smart move on their part because
It's a niche market.
it is.
It is.
But it's a growing one.
But it's a rapidly growing market, exactly.
Yeah.
But just targeting a niche isn't enough.
Right.
What about their actual business model? How are they making money?
Well, they've actually got quite a diverse set of revenue streams. Of course, there's the flagship R1T truck and R1S SUV.
Right.
Those are designed to appeal to that adventurous, eco-conscious consumer.
Right. And in the materials, you'll see that they're really weaving sustainability into their core. It's not just a marketing ploy.
No, absolutely not.
This seems to be attracting a premium customer base willing to pay more, giving Rivian a potential pricing advantage over its competitors.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a huge advantage in this market.
Huge advantage.
But then on top of that,
Yeah.
they've got this massive deal with Amazon.
For delivery vans,
For electric delivery vans, yeah, we're talking 100,000 vans by 2030.
that's a lot.
It's huge.
Potentially a really stable source of revenue.
Exactly. And then beyond that, they've got subscription services,
Right.
for things like enhanced connectivity and even software development.
So they're not just an automaker, they're kind of a tech company too.
Yeah, exactly.
That skateboard platform that you read about is revolutionary.
Yeah.
Allows them to adapt their production for different vehicle types.
Yeah, it's very flexible, very modular.
Much more so than something like, say, Tesla can do.
Right.
But speaking of production, let's talk about the people behind the wheel, so to speak.
Okay.
The management team.
Yeah, so RJ Scaringe, the CEO,
Right.
he's got a really impressive background in the automotive industry, and he clearly has a vision.
Seems like it.
But what I find interesting is how they've handled these inevitable challenges.
Which are?
Production delays, supply chain issues, all that stuff that comes with a new company in this industry.
It's a tough industry, especially for a young company.
Exactly. And they seem to be, tackling it head on, which is good.
Okay, so they're navigating the choppy waters
Yeah, I think
of being a young company.
yeah.
But what about the money? Are they spending wisely?
Well, they're definitely spending aggressively, I'll say that. Building these new factories, investing heavily in R&D, building out that charging network.
It's a lot.
It's all necessary for growth, but you're right to kind of question, are they overextending themselves?
Right.
Especially considering they secured that massive loan from the Department of Energy.
That's a lot of debt.
It is.
It shows that the government has confidence in their potential, but it also adds to that pressure to deliver.
Absolutely.
Speaking of pressure, let's dive into their financials.
Okay.
How's their financial health looking?
So it's a bit of a mixed bag, which, isn't uncommon for a company at this stage.
Sure.
On one hand, they have impressive revenue growth, especially thanks to that Amazon deal.
Right.
But on the other hand, they are still operating at a loss.
That seems to be a common theme with these EV startups.
Yeah.
Big dreams, big spending, not so big profits, at least not yet.
Not yet, right.
How concerned should investors be about these losses?
It's a good question. And, a key metric here is their cash burn rate.
Right. How fast are they spending the money they have?
Exactly. And right now, it's pretty high.
Okay.
Which is a concern for investors, of course.
Right.
But what's interesting is that they are actively working on cost reduction strategies and streamlining their manufacturing process.
Okay.
And they're even developing more affordable models to appeal to a wider market.
So it seems like they're aware of the need to control costs and become profitable.
Yeah, definitely. They're taking steps in the right direction.
Which is key for any company, especially a young one, in such a volatile market.
Absolutely. Essential even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they have a plan, but the EV market is so unpredictable.
Oh, it's really volatile.
What's the overall sentiment like toward Rivian?
Well, their stock has been all over the place since their IPO, right?
Yeah, up and down.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hype surrounding EVs, but investors are also being cautious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a capital-intensive industry.
For sure.
Profitability is a big question mark.
For a lot of companies in this space, not just Rivian.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a wait-and-see approach.
I think so.
Are analysts generally optimistic?
Well, it's a mixed bag you'll see in the materials.
Oh, really?
Some analysts are super bullish, giving Rivian a buy rating,
Okay.
pointing to their strong brand and their innovative tech.
Right.
And, of course, that huge Amazon partnership.
Can't forget about that.
Right, but then others are more cautious,
Or see.
issuing hold or even sell ratings.
Wow.
Because they're worried about their path to profitability.
Okay.
And the competition in the EV space is just fierce.
It's only getting more intense.
Exactly.
So it's a high-risk, high-reward situation.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Makes sense. Speaking of risk, let's look at who's calling the shots at Rivian.
Okay.
What's their ownership structure look like?
This is where things get interesting. It's a pretty diverse mix.
Okay.
You've got those big institutional investors like Amazon and Ford.
Oh, wow. Big players.
Yeah, which gives them some stability and resources.
Right. But then you've also got significant insider holdings like the CEO R.J. Scaringe.
Okay.
And other key executives own a large chunk of the company.
So how should we interpret this?
Is it a good sign or a red flag?
Yeah.
It really depends on your perspective.
Okay.
On one hand, having Amazon and Ford on board provides a lot of support.
Financial backing, industry expertise.
Right, exactly. But on the other hand, their influence might affect Rivian's decisions.
Interesting.
Potentially prioritize their interests over other shareholders.
That's a great point. Always good to think about those power dynamics.
Definitely.
So we've covered a lot.
Hey, hot.
Business model, leadership, financials, market sentiment.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up with a classic SWOT analysis.
Okay, love a good SWOT.
What are Rivian's biggest strengths?
And their weaknesses.
Yeah, let's start with strength.
Okay, so their strengths are really the building blocks for success, right?
Okay, I like that analogy.
And their brand recognition is a major asset. Yeah, they've really cultivated that image of adventure and sustainability.
Right, and that resonates with their market.
Yeah. Environmentally friendly practices are becoming more and more important to consumers.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, there's the innovative technology, that skateboard platform.
Can't forget that. Yeah, very forward-thinking.
It's a strong brand, cutting-edge tech, and a commitment to being eco-friendly.
Yeah, they've got a lot going for them.
Sounds like it, but what about the flip side?
Okay, so weaknesses, think of those like cracks in the foundation.
Okay, cracks in the foundation.
Things they need to address, and their financial performance is a big one.
Definitely. Those ongoing losses.
Yeah, high cash burn rate.
It's a concern.
Investors want to see that turnaround.
Right. And what else?
Well, production capacity is another issue.
Okay.
They've struggled to scale up manufacturing to meet demand.
Right. They need to make sure they can actually deliver on all these ambitious plans.
Exactly. And that can be tricky.
Definitely. Now, what about opportunities?
The O in SWOT.
What are the big opportunities out there for Rivian?
I mean, the EV market is booming.
It's huge.
And Rivian is well-positioned to capitalize on that growth.
Okay.
They've got several new models in development.
So they're going to expand their reach.
Exactly. And they're building out their own charging network.
Which is smart.
Yeah, it's a good strategic move.
So they're riding the wave of a major industry shift.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for them.
But what about threats? What are the storm clouds on the horizon?
I'd say their biggest threat is competition.
Of course.
They're going up against some giants.
Wade's, Shard,
GM.
all the legacy automakers.
Plus a whole wave of other EV startups.
Yeah, the market is getting crowded.
Very crowded. And everyone wants a piece of the pie.
And we can't forget the overall economic climate.
Right. If we see a downturn.
People might be less willing to spend on a premium vehicle.
Exactly, electric or not.
So economic headwinds could really impact their growth.
Definitely something to watch. Yeah, and then there are those supply chain issues.
Oh, right. Those have been plaguing the entire auto industry.
It's a mess, and it could easily derail Rivian's production plans.
For sure. And then on top of all that, the tech is changing so fast.
Oh, absolutely.
Rivian needs to stay ahead of the curve if they want to survive.
If they fall behind in this tech race, it could be fatal.
Yeah, it's a race to innovate, and it's fascinating to watch.
Definitely.
We've covered a lot of ground today: business model, financials, market sentiment, even a SWOT analysis.
Yeah, we really dug deep.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Rivian, what stands out to you the most?
You know, for me, it's their commitment to sustainability.
Yeah.
Not just in their vehicles, but across their whole operation.
It's a powerful message that resonates with consumers.
Definitely. It's not just about making cool electric trucks anymore.
Right. Consumers want to support companies that align with their values.
Exactly. And Rivian seems to get that.
But they've got a long road ahead.
Oh, for sure.
Plenty of challenges to overcome.
Absolutely.
It all comes down to execution.
Yeah, can they scale up production, control those costs, and become profitable?
That's the billion-dollar question, literally.
It is. Only time will tell what the future holds for Rivian.
We want to hear from you. What do you think? Is Rivian a company worth watching?
Or are the risks just too great?
Head down to the comments and let us know.
And while you're there, tell us what stock you'd like us to analyze next.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want more insightful analysis like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
We break down complex companies and market trends every week
to help you make smarter investment decisions.
That's right.
Just remember, everything we discussed today is for informational purposes only and not financial advice.
Right. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Rivian Automotive.
Until next time.
Keep learning, keep exploring,
and keep diving deep.